I got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. And you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house. But today I drove through the suburbs crying because you weren't around. I didn't say that we break up. I didn't mention that I was sad or that you left me. But for some reason, you still know all of those things. As you know, that song was Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, and that's one of many examples how great storytelling in songwriting works. I tried to break it down into 4 points, how to tell your stories better in your songs. Let's get straight into this video. Okay, wait for a second. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Indigo, I'm a singer and songwriter, and I've been writing songs since I was 12 years old. That also is the reason why I collected a lot of experience over the years, and I just love analyzing lyrics and helping people to get inspired when it comes to songwriting, so that is what my channel is here for. And now let's really get straight into this video. I think if you want to tell a story, what really works is putting the conflict out there first. Before you even try to explain where are we, what is happening, put the listener right into the situation where the conflict is happening. And you have to figure out yourself as the listener what is going on. Only after listening to the verse, to the pre, the pieces slowly come together and it makes sense where the artist is standing and what situation the artist is in and what is happening. For example, with Olivia Rodrigo Driver's License, you're immediately in the car with her and she's driving to her boyfriend. She's not explaining that this is a breakup situation and what is happening. She's not trying to make you understand. She just shows you. And that leads us to the next point, which is show, don't tell. Don't tell someone I'm sad. Show it. I was lying on the floor and a tear was rolling down my cheek. A tear dripped onto my shirt or something. That is so much visually stronger and more interesting to listen to than if someone just tells you I'm sad. What should I do with it now? Right? You're sad. I'm sorry for you, you know? You can actually see the whole scene unfolding in front of you if you listen to someone telling you a story. You gotta treat it as if you were actually just telling a story to someone. I think it's as simple as that. You just act like you're telling your best friend a new story, and if you told your best friend, they already know it's a breakup. So that is how you treat it. Don't bother too much with explaining unnecessary stuff, because the information that you're sad is just an over explanation, because it makes so much sense that you're sad if you're going through a breakup. I mean, isn't that obvious? Don't explain obvious things. Just rather try to use any space you can get in the verses and the pre and everywhere to keep explaining the story and painting a picture. I think TikTok by Kesha is such a great example because she builds the whole song around a scenario where she's just getting up, getting ready, and she's going out and she just doesn't care. And she is not telling you in the song, I don't care, I go out partying. But by saying that she's brushing her teeth with alcohol and stuff like that, that already shows, oh, she doesn't really care. And it's not, she doesn't explain, I don't care, I'm wild and free and I go outside. That's not what she's saying. She just gives you a scene and you see the scene and you're like, oh my god, she's so savage. She just goes out and she brushes her teeth with alcohol. So that's the method people use rather than explaining themselves or explaining their feelings. Last but not least, make sure you know whom you're talking to. I think a great story only works if you know your target audience and if you know whom you're speaking to. I think it's so important to be clear about your target audience. I don't mean the listener in the end. I mean when you write, who is this song for? And then imagine if you want to tell someone something that you are actually just telling the story to the person. Or if you're writing it like a letter, imagine you're writing a letter to the person. And don't try to think about the audience or the listeners in the end, because I feel like that's just a secondary thing. They're gonna get it anyway. They're gonna understand, and they will relate the most if they can put themselves into your position or into the shoes of the person the song was written for, and they will understand it anyway. Also, a song feels so intimate if it's just between two people. If you don't try to address the song to an audience or try to imagine, oh my god, what are all of those people that are listening to it are going to think? If you just try to write this from your inner perspective and imagine you write this to just one person, it's so much more intimate. It gives the listener a feeling that maybe they are in the position of your boyfriend if you're writing this to their boyfriend. Or they put themselves in your shoes and imagine that they've written the song to their boyfriend or to their ex-boyfriend. You know what I mean? I think if you try to imagine that you're writing to a huge audience, that already destroys the whole thing. Those were all of my 4 points how to write a story. But before this video ends, if you're a songwriter, I want you to try something. Sit down, take a piece of paper, or wherever you write your song, maybe it's in Word on your MacBook or in your notes app on your phone, wherever you write your songs, sit down and try to think of a story that you would never write a song about. Maybe it's like a very embarrassing story that you still think about, that you would never turn into a song. And then try to turn that into a song. I think that's such a great practice for songwriting, to challenge yourself and try to write something you would typically never go for or never write about. And sometimes that really opens doors of creativity. So if you tried it out, let me know what story you wrote your song about. I'm very curious. Thanks a lot for supporting and watching this video. My newest release is out. I would be very glad if you checked it out. The link is in my bio. And with that said, see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Can you stay, 'cause I need you right there. Yeah, I'd hate